There comes a time where the shouting must stop. A time where we must put down the sword we picked up in panic and ask the Spirit, have I been fighting for you or fighting without you? Many have confused spiritual warfare with spiritual pride. They've mistaken aggression for authority. They've built altars to men, not altars of surrender. So today we break it down and we set it straight. Here is the difference between man-led warfare and spirit-led deliverance. Man-led warfare sounds powerful, but it is often rooted in fear. It says, I need to destroy the enemy. I have to rebuke every demon. I must war all night until the altars collapse. This pastor's prayers break chains. I need to listen to it. But here's the truth. When you trust more in a man's prayers than in Ruach's whispers, you already built an altar of dependency, an altar of performance, an altar of, if I just pray hard enough, then Yah will move. Man-led warfare treats prayer like a weapon, not a conversation. Forgets that demons obey authority, not volume. Relies on repetition instead of revelation. Tries to collapse altars without asking Ruach who built them. And worst of all, man-led warfare can accuse instead of atone. It calls people's witches before it calls them wounded. It swings the sword before asking if Abba even drew it. Spirit-led deliverance is not always loud. It's not always fiery. It's not always seen, but it is always real. It is always righteous. Spirit-led deliverance begins with a question. Ruach, do you want me to speak? Do you want me to war or wait? Is this a demon or a wound? Is this witchcraft or a broken daughter? Ruach-led deliverance is led by conviction, not assumption, initiated by permission, not reaction, rooted in compassion, not control or fear, sealed in rest, not exhaustion. Because true deliverance doesn't just cast something out, it calls someone home. So what does the spirit-led warfare actually look like? It looks like asking before speaking. It looks like surrendering your tongue before swinging it. It looks like discerning the altar behind the behavior and judging the root, not the person. It looks like Yahusha. Yahusha didn't chase witches. He didn't rebuke everyone. He didn't scream all night to prove his power. He walked in quiet dominion because the Ruach led every step. He only did what the Father showed him. And if Ruach doesn't say, draw your sword, then put it down. Because if you swing without instruction, you strike without purpose. So when we talk about those pastors who pray with fire, some are truly anointed, but some are stuck in cycles of striving. But either way, if their prayers make you fear people instead of the fear of Yah, be careful. If their voice is louder than Ruach's whispers, pause. If their warfare becomes your identity, you've built another altar. Because true intercession isn't performance, it's proximity. You don't need to copy a man's tongue to collapse a spiritual system. You need to listen, obey, and walk low. Here's the final word. The altar or the accuser. When you see something dark, the question is not how loud can I scream it out, but what do you want me to do, Ruach? Because if you fight without her rhythm, you invite confusion, you open legal doors, you harden hearts, and you step out of divine timing. But if you wait on her rhythm, altars collapse without striving, demons leave without screaming, hearts break in silence, and your home becomes a sanctuary again. So this is your decree. I will not build altars to man. I will not war without instruction. I will not copy warfare to feel spiritual. I will only move when Ruach says move, and not a moment sooner. Let every altar I've built to man collapse. Let every dependency die. I choose deliverance led by the Ruach HaKodesh, not performance, not pride, not fear. In Yahusha's name, amen.